Hey there, everyone. It's Kim Krompass from the Price Action Traders Institute. It is Thursday, October 18th, and today I want to talk about actually a trade that I took today, talk a little bit about greed, something that we discussed in the members webinar yesterday, which I found to be, looking at the market today, so timely. So let's go ahead and look at the trade of the day. This is just one of the trades of a few that I took, but I think it will demonstrate some important lessons for traders. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a live screenshot of the pound yen, the GJ as we sometimes call it. And I wanted to talk about what our trade plan was this morning coming into the New York session. We actually had this pair ranging just like this, and we were looking for a break of this range, which happened right here. And you'll notice that on this break, the trade would have been stopped out. We use a 12 pip stop, and I actually took that first break and my stop was hit. And even if my stop hadn't been hit, I would have exited based on our rules. When price does a break, we want it to close outside of that breaking line. It didn't do that. So what's up next? Well, you can take what's called a re-entry trade, and we have specific rules around that. And so today I got the re-entry signal right here at 14700 or 147.00. And so I got short this trade right here again. So I started off with minus 12 on that first break and then took a re-entry trade here at 147 at 00, as I refer to it and as Patty members refer to it. And I actually put a limit down 2 levels below, and the reason I did that was I wanted to capture some of the price action I was starting to see across the board on the yen pairs. In fact, I put a tweet out letting everyone know that the yens were in focus. And that trade came right down screaming into 146.50. And I was able to book a nice 50 pips and offset that with my loss of 12, gave me plus 38 this morning on the GJ. Now, what I really want to talk about is not just this great trade that ended up happening, but notice how deep this trade actually went. And if you measure from the point when I got in at 00, the trade dropped as much as 120 pips. So I took 50 of that 120. And yesterday we happened to do a webinar in which part of the webinar, the opening segment, was talking a little bit about greed. And the fact that we all suffer from greed, we all have greed in us, whether or not we want to admit it, or even if we don't know that we have greed. It was something I personally struggled with, and it was also something that I didn't like the reference to saying that I had a greedy bone in my body. But the truth is, we all have greed in us. And the more you're able to manage that greed, the more likely you'll be able to make more money over a series of trades. And that's what we talked about. So it's not about eliminating the greed, getting rid of the greed. That's crazy because it will never happen. We all have it. It kicks in at various times. And the goal is to reframe how we look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, I do. I am subject to greed at different times. And it gets triggered. And it gets triggered in trades. And so what I'm going to try to do is like take profits at levels, price levels, because I know that over a series of trades, when I do that, the more often I can do that, the better off I will be. Now today, just like we talked about yesterday, there'll be times when you look back at the charts like this right now, and I can see, oh, if I would have stayed in the trade, I would have pulled my stop down. I could have booked maybe another 50 pips, maybe more, who knows? But the point is, I want to get into the practice, and I want to show everyone how to get into this practice of taking profits, do it consistently. Big moves don't last. They don't come that often. Cash out, walk away. You'll be better for it over the long run. All right, I hope this helps you with your trading. And this is Kim Krompass. Thank you for listening.